Hello, we are going to talk about our integumentary, which is our skin and body membrane. So we have here the two major groups of body membrane. So number one, we have the epithelial membrane, and number two, we have the connective tissue membrane. So number one, we have the epithelial membrane. So our epithelial membrane is also called as covering and lining membranes, no. So si epithelial membrane mo na siya tong kanang cover no mo protect. Okay, so si epithelial membrane, there are epithelial membrane have three division. We have the cutaneous, which is our skin, no. Cutaneous, then mucus is the opening exterior, no. And then si serous membrane, no. I will further discuss this later on. Kay ako panis lagi pang introduce. Okay. So I forgot the connective tissue membrane is represented by synovial membrane. Tissue membrane. Okay. So hello. I will now discuss the subcategory of epithelial tissue membrane. So as I've said earlier na epithelial membrane consists of cutaneous, mucous, and serous membrane. So I will now talk about it. So the cutaneous membrane, it is composed of two layers, no, which is the superficial epidermis and the underlying dermis. So here it looks like. So here it is. So this is what you call the cutaneous membrane. It is composed of two layers, which is the superficial epidermis. Yes, there it is, the epidermis, no, and then the second layer is the dermis, which is here. Then here is epidermis. Okay, so next is mucous membrane, no, or mucosa. So si mucous membrane, it is composed of epithelium resting on a loose connective tissue membrane called lamina propria. So okay, kaning si mucous membrane, ang tawag siyang connective tissue membrane is lamina propria. And kaning si mucous membrane, so mao ni si mucous membrane kana siya. Mao na siya ang open. No siya kanang open to the exterior. No siya kanang ganing opening. No kanang siya kanang para makasulod ang pagkaon. No mao na si mucosa membrane. Such as those hollow organs of the respiratory. So atong respiratory tract na siya tube diha. So mao na si mucosa. Sa atong digestive, of course, kani siya. Mao ni siya dire. Mao na si mucosa, which is the opening to the exterior. No diha siya moagi. So kung asa moagi ang mga ways sa atong mga pagkaon, sa atong air, mao na si mucosa, which is siya mo open para mugawa siya sa gawas to the exterior. Mo open siya to the exterior. Mugawa siya para mo-open siya para magawas siya sa atong lawas, such as atong urinary and reproductive tracts. So next, we have here the serous membrane. So mao ni siya kani serous membrane. So the serous membrane is composed of simple squamous epithelium. So when we say simple means one layer siya, and when we say squamous, it is like flattened like fish scale na epithelium, no. So okay, let's continue. So si serous membrane resting on a thin layer of areolar connective tissue. Okay, so si serous layer, no, as you can see, they are separated not by air but a scanty amount of thin fluid called serous fluid, which is this. So we have here the parietal layer, which is the wall, no, the wall of our ventral body cavity, which is kani siya wall. Dayon mao ni si serous fluid. Then mao ni si visceral layer, which covers the outside of the organs. So for example, sa atong heart, no, sa atong heart diha, sa atong organs na diha si parietal layer, which is wall, no. Then sunod ni wall na diha si serous fluid. Dayon visceral layer, which is mo na siyang nag-protect sa atuang organs. Okay. So next now is connective tissue membrane. So si connective tissue membrane, ang yang subcategory is only synovial membrane. Ano siya? It is composed of loose areolar connective tissue and wala siya epithelial cells. So, it contains no epithelial cells at all. So, these membranes line the fibrous capsule surrounding joints sa lubricating fluid. Okay, makita ninyo, kaya ko na siya ipakita. They also line small sacs of connective tissue called say. Okay. So, mauni siya si synovial membrane. Yan na siya. Kani. Yes, a typical synovial joint. No. So, sa atong bukog, muni si ligament. And then muni si synovial fluid. Ani. So, si synovial fluid, kana siya, makatabang na siya sa atong pag-move. No. Si synovial fluid. And then, also, kanang, kung mabangga ta, for example, mabump atong bones. So, it will help to bounce back. No. Kaya naman si fluid. Okay? So, I will now introduce the integumentary system. So, integumentary is also called as integument, which simply means no covering. Okay? Performs a variety of functions. So, in our integumentary, there is functions. So, we have here number 1 is protection acid mantle. No, protect us from bacteria. So, mechanical damage, chemical damage, microbe damage, UV radiation, thermal heat or cold damage, desiccation, drying out. And number 2, aids in body heat or loss or retention. So, kani siya atong it is controlled by the nervous system. No, when we feel hot and when we feel cold, it is called our nervous, controlled by our nervous system. So, when we feel hot, no, so ato ang integumentary, iya ta i-warm, no, kung gitugnaw ta, iya sa ta, kung initan ta, iya ta i-warm, like nga na siya. So, aids in excretion means mupagawas sa atong lawas, no, such as urea means ato ang ihi, and uric acids. It also synthesizes vitamin D. No, when we go outside in the morning 6 to 7, then we will have vitamin D. So, we will now move on to our structure of the skin, which is our epidermis. Okay, epidermis. Hello. So we have here the structure of the skin. So we have the two tissues here. We have the structure of the skin have two tissues, which is epidermis and the dermis. So I will first talk about the epidermis. Our epidermis is made up of stratified squamous epithelium. It means stratified squamous is 2 layers, and then squamous is a thin flattened scale, but it is 2 layers. No. So epidermis is hard, means gahi, and tough. That is capable of becoming hard and tough, which is here. This is our epidermis. And then tawag siyang cells ni epidermis kay keratinocytes. So mao ni ang tawag sa cell ni epidermis, kani si keratinocytes. And also epidermis is avascular. Here, avascular. It means that there is no supply na blood. Walay blood diri sa tuang epidermis. Okay? So there are 5 layers of epidermis, which is here. No. First, we have the stratum corneum, which is the outermost layer of our epidermis, which is here. Cells are dead, flat, no. And then our stratum, actually it is stratum. There is another, no. It is stratum lucidum, which is which is the stratum lucidum is not present in all skin regions. Okay, ang kaning si stratum lucidum, hairless na siya. And stratum lucidum is extra thick, very baga siya nga skin. Makita ni nato siya sa atoang palms, sa atong kamot, no? Sa atoang lapa-lapa, sa atong feet, no? Makita nato si stratum lucidum diha. On our skin, we have thin skin and thick skin. So, mao na siya. Stratum lucidum is thick skin. So, dili kay siya present in all skin region. Okay. Sunod, we have here the stratum granulosum and stratum spinosum and stratum basale. So, I will explain. No. Kaning si stratum basale, diri naghimo og new cells. As you can see here, naghimo siya. Diri pirmi nag-divide ang cells, means mitosis diri kasagaran nahitabo ang mitosis, no, pero nag-divide ang cell, no, as you can see here. And then ang katong mga new cells nga na form, nga bag-o nahimo, buari na siya sa atong stratum spinosum, no, which are contain thick bundles of intermediate filaments, no, made of pre-keratin. And then pagkahuman ni stratum spinosum, or na siya ni stratum granulosum, which is ang atong cells is they are slowly dying. Atong cells kay slowly dying na siya. Atong cells kay ni-flat na dayon. Atong organelles are deteriorating and oh my god, my apologies. Kay very saba kayo, no? Pasensya na. So, ang atong cytoplasm diri sa atong stratum granulosum is full of granules, kaning mga dat-dat, no? And then inag-ari na niya diri sa atong stratum corneum, inag-ari na niya diri is ato ang cells patay na jud siya and flat na, and atong flat membranous sacs, no, filled with keratin, glycolipids is sugar plus fats, so maunang atong skin is water resistant, no. What I mean is about that is that dili mo sulod ang water sa atong sulod sa skin, no. Kuan siya kana ganing kakita mo ng bag, no, mingon sila water resistance kay dili mabasa sa uwan, so mo na siya. So we have here our next is our melanin. Asa itong melanin? Kani melanocytes, melanin. Nara dito melanin. Yes. Nito ang melanin. Nawa lagi itong melanin. Kana siya muna si melanin. So, si melanin muna siya ang maghatag natong colors sa atong skin. Munang naay ito, munang naay puti, naay brown, ng mga people. Kay tungod na ni melanin, no? Kabantay mo sa mga black people. Black people has a lot of melanin on their skin. That's why they are black. Because dagan kasi sila melanin sa ilahang lawas, no. So black people are rich in melanin. So yeah, melanin is a pigment, no, And then, ang tawag sa cells ni melanin is si melanocytes. Mo'y tawag sa iyang cell ni melanin. So, we have here the homeostatic imbalance. So, human herpes virus, number 1. So, kaning si human herpes virus, ang cause niya kay cold source. So, mo na yung main cause. Okay? So, mo ni siyang na. So, this is what it looks like, the human herpes virus 1. So, mauna siya. So, number 2, we are going now to dermis, which is the second layer of our skin. So, it is made up mostly of dense connective tissue. No. And dermis is vascularized, means there is abundantly supplied with blood vessels. Okay, that's why. Yep. And dermis play a role in maintaining our body temperature. Yes. So, si collagen and si elastic fibers, collagen, elastic fibers are mainly found. So, kaning si collagen ug si elastic fibers kay makita ni nato siya sa tuang dermis, no, kanis lang duha throughout the dermis. So, si dermis na siya two major regions, which is si number 1, si papillary. I will show. So, here is the papillary layer. So, si papillary layer is uneven, no? It has a peg-like projections from its superior surface here called dermal papillae. Okay, so mauni siya si dermal papillae. So, si papillary layer mo na siyang kanang kabantay mo ng kanang tawag ani kaning atong fingerprint, no? Mauna siya. Look at these ridges. Mauna si dermal papillae. Ano siya? No. And also, the papillae are arranged in definite patterns that form looped and whole ridges on the epidermal surface that increase friction and enhance gripping love. So, the dermal papillae is muna siya kanang makakuputa, no? Kanang makakuputag mga things bakay tungod ni dermal papillae. Aning uneven and ridges, which is here. Na siya to ang mga fingerprint. Mauna siya. Dermal papillae na siya. So, number 2, we have the reticular areas. So, mo ni si reticular area. Hala, na-delete. Yes, kani siya. which is the deepest skin layer, pinakailaw no nga sa ato ang skin layer. So it contains dense irregular connective tissue as well as blood vessels. So naa diri si blood vessels, naa diri si sweat, and naa diri si oil glands. And also our deep pressure receptors called lamellar corpuscles, which is here. Muna na siya sa atong reticular layer. And sensory nerve fiber, hair follicle receptor. So yeah. So next is our cutaneous sensory receptors, which are actually part of the nervous systems, no? It is located sa ato skin. So si cutaneous, nara diri si cutaneous mo, adin na mao. So kaning si cutaneous sensory receptors, part na siya sa atong nervous system and located na siya sa atong skin. Makita na nato siya sa atong skin. No, mo ni siya nga atong maka-feel tag touch, maka-feel tag pressure, temperature, and kaning pain receptors. No, mo nang kanang mas makakonta masakitan ta na when we touch a hot boiling water, no, mo na siya si cutaneous sensory receptors. So we are now here in our homeostatic imbalance. So we have here the decubitus ulcers, which is bed sores, no? Mahitabo ni siya sa tuang bedridden patients, which is bedridden, dili sila mo makalakaw, sige ra sila higda, no? So this is what will happen to their skin, no? Maing ani siya kay wala sila lihok-lihok, sige ra sila higda, so they will develop decubitus ulcers. So these three, no, kani silang tulo mo ni sila naghatag og color sa tuang skin. We have here the melanin, the carotene, which is a orange yellow pigment, no, plentiful in carrots and other oranges, deep yellow or leafy green vegetables. So when they say that when they eat carrots, their skin turns into yellow, orange. Yes, and then hemoglobin, which is pigment in red blood cells. So we have here the cyanosis. Si cyanosis, muna siyang nag-influence sa atong skin color based sa atong emotion. So these are the homeostatic imbalance that causes color, no, based on our emotions. Like these four, no, influence our skin color sa ato ang emotion. So we have here the redness or erythema. So it indicates embarrassment, no, may blushing, fever, hypertension, and inflammation or allergy. That is very understandable na. And then we have here the pallor or blanching. It means kanang ganing pallor, kanang maputi gani kag pag-ayo, kanang unsay Bisaya ana oy, kanang pale ba, kanang mamutla ka, no, nang luspad, mao na si pallor or blanching. So under certain types of emotional stress such as fear, anger, and also it signifies anemia, no, low blood pressure, or impaired blood flow into the area. So next we have here the jaundice or yellow cast. It is an abnormal yellow skin tone, usually signifies a kabantay mo kanang naisakit no nga liver, no, ang ilahang skin kay mo yellow. So mostly ilahang skin tone is yellow kay tungod na sila liver disorder. And then we have here the number 4, the bruises. So si bruises muna siya ang black and blue marks sa atong ang bruising, no, where blood has escaped from the circulation. So when we say bruises, mauna siyang kanaging gisumbag mo, no, kanang sumbagon mo mahimo na siyang black or blue marks kay ang blood ni escape siya sa circulation, no, ana kay ni siya ana, then pag sumbag bang, so munang ni na hematoma forms, so magpundo ang dugo dito, munang mo hubag siya. So next we have here our subcutaneous tissue or hypodermis. So kaning si subcutaneous tissue or hypodermis, it means it is essentially adipose, which means fat, no, naani siya sa ato ang skin, underlying organs, anchored to the skin to underlying organs, and it provides a site for nutrient storage. Okay, so we have here our skin appendages. We have here the 2 skin appendages. So we have here number 1 is cutaneous gland. So cutaneous gland is all exocrine glands that release their secretion to the skin surface via ducts, no. So kaning si cutaneous gland mo ni siya ang kanang iyang mag-release siya sa ato ang skin, no, such as sa atong sweat, sa atong oil through ducts, which is sa ato ang pores, no, sa ato ang pores na ay kandya kanang tube kausanan sa ato ang oil, sa ato ang sweat. Okay, next we have here our sebaceous oil glands, which is which is found all over the skin, no, makita na nato siya sa atong skin, sa atong hair, sa atong face, except sa atong palms, wala na sa atong kamot o sa atong soles of the feet. So wala sila dire. Okay, so another homeostatic imbalance in our skin appendages. So si acne, sebaceous gland mo ni siya ang ducts are black, means nabara dito sa tuang nagkakos tag acne kay tungod nabara dito ang atong oil sa tuang ducts, which means ato ang tube mo nang naatay acne. Ducts are blocked. And then si blackhead na-oxidize siya, which means nahanginan, dayon ni dry, dayon mo na siyang ni itom, ni dark, mo na siyang nahimo na siyang blackheads. Dayon si whiteheads mo ni siyang okay, si blackheads ni dry, si whitehead wala na siya ni dry, that's not dry. Then si suburhiya makita rin nato siya sa mga bata, newborn babies, no, sa infants. So known siya as cradle cap. Okay, so it is caused by overactivity of the sebaceous glands. So nagkaing ani ang infant nasa like cradle cap or seborrhea kay tungod grabe kayo ang iyahang oil, no, overactivity of our sebaceous glands. So we have here the two types of sweat glands. So we have here the eccrine gland, which is it produce sweat, no, singot, a clear secretion that is primarily water, no, plus salts and water. Dayon si apocrine is mo ni siya atong singot, no, sa atuang ilok, sa atuang armpit and sa atuang genital areas. Ano siya. And then we have here our hair and hair follicles. So atong hair is flexible, no, we all know that our hair is flexible. Hairs are produced by hair follicles. So makita na to tong buhok sa atuang skin all over the body, again except the palms of the hands and soles of the feet. Okay, so next we are now move on to hair follicles. So see, hair follicles is made up of inner epithelial root sheath. Na-form ni siya sa atong hair outer fibrous sheath. So na-form siya sa atong outer fibrous sheath. Okay, so mao ni siya ang noun. Hair root, hair follicle, hair bulb and follicle, cuticle, cortex, medulla, natong hair shaft, erector pili muscle, next is our nails. So our nails is a scale-like modification of the epidermis. So our nails is transparent, no, look at that here, and nearly colorless, of course, walay, and atong kuko is pink kay tungod sa supply ni tungod sa blood supply ni underlying dermis. Maong pink ang tuang nails. So mao na itong nails, itong gross anatomy. No, look at that. So we have here the athlete's foot. No, atong athlete foot stage is itchy, red peeling, resulting from infection of the fungus Tinea pidi, and then boils and carbuncles. Si boils kay cause siya by kanang inflammation sa atong hair follicles, which is nihupag ang atong hair follicles, ni-inflame siya dito sa sud, and maong nagka-boil siya, and commonly nani siya sa tuang dorsal neck. And si carbuncles are clusters of boils often caused by the bacterium Staphylococcus aureus. Ano siya. And then next is cold sores, which is this, no? Muna siya si cold sores. Itching, redness, and swelling of the skin, progressing to blistering. Then we have here the impetigo, which is pink filled raised lesions, commonly around the area. No, na siya yellow crust. That is that. And eventually rupture, which means mo boto siya. Mo rupture, mo panit. Matangtang ang panit, caused by highly contagious. Okay, next is psoriasis. Mo ni si psoriasis na maabot sa siya sa katuang scalp. No, si psoriasis covered with dry, silvery scales that itch and burn and crack, sometimes bleed. Yes, wala siya si psoriasis. So we will now move on in burns. We are now going to talk about the burns. So burns is tissue damage and cell death caused by intense heat. So burns maning kaning mapasok ta, no, mapasok ta sa kanang chemicals, mapasok ta sa kanang kainit, no, UV radiation, sunburn, mapasok ta sa kayo, mao na siya ang burn. So burns are classified according to their severity, which is we have here first, second, third, and fourth. So si first degree, ang iyahang rang ma-damage is si superficial epidermis. Means ang skin nato, which is babaw, superficial epidermis, no. Okay, batan-aon ta mo. So sa atong first degree, diri ra ang ma-damage, diha ra superficial epidermis. Dayon if second degree na gani siya, ang ma-injury is ang atuang epidermis, no, dire maabot na dire ma-damage, ma-injure na atong epidermis, which is dire, and then maabot siya dire superficial of the epidermis, no, mo na atuang second degree burn. Di sa atong third degree burn, ang ma-injury, no, ma-destroy na dire both si epidermis dire, no, si epidermis, no, diha dire both of them are destroyed, damage, no. And kaning third degree, they often extend into the subcutaneous tissue, which is here maabot na dire sa atong fat. So patan-aon, so these are the burns, no. This is the first degree, second degree, and the third one is third degree, which is mo na siya mo gray atong skin, mo blanch siya, which is mo black na. kay destroyed kayo ato ang epidermis, damage kayo siya, o si dermis. Silang duha, very damaged. So our skin appears to be blanched or blackened. So we have here our 4th degree. Ito kaning 4th degree burns. Muna ni siya ang full thickness burns, which is lala na siya kini siya. Very severe. No, mo extend na ni siya as sa atong deeper tissue, no, maabot na ni siya sa atong organs. No, kuha na ni siya sa atong bones, sa atong muscle or tendons. And makamatay na siya. Dagad kay na that's a 4th degree burn. So we will now move on to skin cancers. So skin cancers is the single and most kanang si skin cancer kay common type of cancer na siya sa human, sa tao. Si skin cancer. Then there are kinds of cancers. We have here the basal cell carcinoma, which is the least malignant, which is dili kay siya cancerous kayo, and common sa kay siya common skin cancer. So kaning si basal cell carcinoma, mong gitawag niya siya basal cell carcinoma kay iyahang cells dito sa stratum basale kay di sila ka-form og keratin. Cells of the stratum basale altered so that they cannot form keratin. So next is squamous cell carcinoma, which is from the cells of the stratum spinosum. Gikan ni sila sa atong stratum spinosum. The lesions appear as scaly reddened papules, which means nainana. Then small rounded then swelling that gradually form shallow ulcers with form raised borders. So we are now going here in malignant melanoma. So si malignant melanoma is a cancer of melanocytes. So si malignant melanoma mo na siya ang cancer sa ato ang melanocytes, which is si melanocytes mo na siya ang cell ni melanin. So we have here the ABCDE rule. So we have here the asymmetry, border irregularity, color, diameter, and evolution. That's how we know that a person have malignant melanoma, by having this ABCDE rule. So muna si basal cell carcinoma, muna si squamous cell carcinoma, and si melanoma. And that's all. Thank you.